Yeah. Nigga that got spoiled off these fucking PJs. It's not like I'm too good at fly commercial. That shit just, it's a hassle at this.
What's up and welcome back to a brand new video. Oh man, is today's video gonna be a good one. We have a couple of things lined up. First of all, we're doing some moving tonight, but tomorrow we're gonna try build a full startup app that we're gonna launch on the App Store and monetize within like 3-4 hours, something like that. We'll see if it's possible now with the advent of AI. I had this old series called the 3-hour build, so you can check it out on my channel if you want to, before AI or anything like that. And we're gonna see now if we can make it more efficient. So that's coming up in this vlog. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you've heard me jabber on about these bags that I have. So, for those of you who are new here, my name is Herman Palmgren. I do various things. I develop apps. I have a 3D printing business. I run this store that you see around me. And I also, amongst other things, have a brand of rope bags. So, a rope bag is something that you as a tree worker or someone who works at height, or with ropes of any kind obviously, put your ropes into. And traditionally these rope bags, you put them down like this, and they don't stand. This one stands perfectly. So Palmu is my brand. It's based on my surname, Palmgren. And as you can see, these are all black. They're very nice, and I made them actually because I watched a movie called War Dogs, where they have this Afghan deal where they sell stuff to the military. And I've done business with the Swedish military before, and they only want black gear. And my little problem here is that my initial bags, so the bags that I first launched, are very colorful. You'll be able to see them behind me here, in that they're very colorful. They're purple and they're green. So we now have these black ones that we're beefing them up a little bit. So we're improving the seams slightly. We're just making them a little bit more robust, and we're also making them black. And now we've received those two samples. They look all good. So we're pretty much ready to go ahead and order. And what I'm going to show you now is we're going to hop on the computer. I'm going to show you how I look at margins and how I approach margins in regards to this particular business. Let's do it. Alright, so now I'm just being completely transparent with all of my costs and all of my margins for this particular batch. Now, keep in mind this varies a little bit depending on the batch, but this is for this batch. And for those of you who don't know, like I just said, this is my brand of rope bags. We currently sell to a bunch of different dealers. I need to update this map actually, but we sell to dealers all over the world. And now that we've actually come up to quite some dealers here, we have some more. For example, we have Australia, we also have Italy, we have Spain. I need to add these. I've just been slacking a little bit. But as you can see, we don't have any in the US. So part of these black bags is 1, to launch in the US, and 2, to speak to the Swedish Armed Forces. And when I think about margins here, you gotta consider that, first of all, you have to make money on the bags that you're selling. Obviously, you're in the business, you're not running a charity. If you are, that's very noble, and we'll be doing that one day, but currently that's not what we're doing. We don't really have the funds to be contributing significantly to any charity. But you have to make money, and then the resellers also have to make money. And when I partner now with the Swedish Armed Forces, I'm doing that through another partner. They put together kits, kind of like rope climbing or rock climbing or helicopter descent type of kits. And in those, they need a particular bag. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get my bag into them. And I need to be able to sell to them so that they can have a decent margin, and also so that they can sell it on to the Swedish Armed Forces at a reasonable price. So that's one. And then there's also the launch in the US. And for that, we've actually signed a deal now to have a distribution center in Houston, Texas, which will be pretty good, given the fact that it's relatively central in the US and shipping is not too expensive from either Stockholm or from China, where the factory is. So I'm ordering 250 bags of each size. So we have the 32 liter and we have a 17 liter. Those are the two different sizes that you saw out there. We're sending 200 of those black ones. So this is just the black ones. So this is in addition to the other standard colors, or the initial colors that we have. We're sending those to Houston. And then we're sending 150 of each bag, so 300 in total, to here in Sweden, so that we can distribute it to all of our other dealers. Now, the cost from the dealer, without excluding shipping, is $15.5 for the larger bag and $13.63 for the smaller bag. So I'm just doing some basic math in here, saying that for the Houston deal, we're sending 100 bags of the smaller one and 100 bags of the larger one. And just to calculate the cost, I'm just taking the quantity and multiplying that by the price, obviously. And then the shipping cost, so it's going to cost us $550 in total. So I'll just split that in two, as you can see. and the total cost, I'm just adding those two up. Then I'm calculating cost per unit. So this is what it's going to cost for us to import these bags to the US in total. So that's the total cost and what that's going to be. So for the larger bag, that is actually $18.3, and for the smaller one, that is $16.4. And now, I'm typically thinking that I want about 100% margin when I'm selling to the resellers. So just for demo purposes, if we take that turns out to be $36.5 for the larger one and $32.8 for the smaller one. I might have to go down a little bit here, given the fact that they will have to distribute this bag in the US as well. So I will have a distributor, meaning that I will have a third middle hand. So in that case, both the distributor and the retailer all have to make money. So in that case, you typically have to split the cost. And we like to have the retailer be able to sell it to customer for around $80 US. And now there's a lot of added value here at various points through marketing, through transportation costs, etc. But as you're able to tell, probably there's quite good margins compared to the start of manufacture towards when you sell it to the customer. And so in this case, I want, for example, say we can cut it down to an 80% margin. So we're gonna work a little bit here. We're gonna take those 18.3 times 80%. It's actually going to be 180%, obviously, since we're multiplying, like so. So that works out to, so if we have 80%, we're selling it to the distributor for 32. Let's see, like so. So we're selling it to them for 32, and the retailer then, or the distributor then, is going to sell it to the retailer for, they typically want around a 40% margin. So that's going to be 1.4. So that they're going to be selling it to the retailer for $46. And the retailer then typically wants somewhat of a decent margin that is also relatively similar to 40% most of the time. So 64. And then obviously, so we obviously do have some margin here to increase the price. So we can maybe, for example, increase the price by, let's say, we're going to change this to J11. Whoops. We're going to take our price. We're going to take it times 2, so we have 100% margin. So then we would sell it for 36, 51, 72. So that actually works out relatively well for the 32 liter one. And now I don't make pricing strategy more complex than this. I know what the alternatives cost, and I know what our stuff costs, and then I just do what seems right based on that. So yeah, it doesn't need to be more complicated than this. So this is essentially how I develop the pricing strategy. There's nothing more to it than this. And then we're just going to take the same formula and that. So there we have it. The smaller bag is going to cost us $16.4. We're going to sell it to the distributor for $32.8. They're going to sell it to a retailer for $45.9, and the retailer is going to sell it for $64. So we then have a decent margin. Obviously, our margin is 100%, but that 100% margin comes from a smaller cost. So our absolute margin, for example, on the larger bag, there we go. Our absolute margin is $18.3. So we're making $18.3 per bag that we sell to a distributor. However, if we go directly to retailer, we obviously make $32. So that's a preferable strategy, but that doesn't really work in the US. But that is what we do in Europe and the rest of the world, for instance. And then obviously the customer pays that, which ends up being pretty similar to other rope bags. So that's just a quick overview. You can obviously do a lot of economics and maths and make this a lot more complex. I've just found this to work, and it helped me land in a place where I make money, where the distributor makes money, where the retailer makes money. And the distributor case, we've had that in the UK so far. It's been working well, and now we're going to be doing that in the US too. But obviously, I prefer to sell it directly to a retailer. That leaves me with a larger margin. I can also then sometimes give them a little bit of a larger volume discount, and they can make more money selling it to their customer. Everyone's more happy. But that is how I think about it. And yeah, it doesn't have to be more complex than that. Now we're going to pack up shop here. It's a little bit after 5. We're going to go fix a tire because I've ran into a nail. And see where the night takes us. She husky like mush in this bitch. You must be nuts. Alright, so it's a couple of hours later. We've been to Mall of Scandinavia. We've copped ourselves a nice Apple TV. And we've got a little bit of clothes here. A wild cat running around. And one of these, another HomePod minis. We bought initially one of the large HomePods, but they weren't too good, you know. So we got two small ones and one Apple TV for the same price instead. So we're gonna get that put up here and then we're gonna do some organizing. So that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna be building something very exciting, so cut to that. Okay, so we're a day later here. Actually, first, let's go make some coffee. Alright, you know you're about to have an absolute field day when you just made yourself a full cup of coffee at 8:30 in the evening. That's how you know we're gonna be on the grind. So I've had this idea for some time to build an app that is an allergy scanner. So you can, for example, if you're allergic to gluten, you can scan a food packaging part, you can scan a dish, you can scan a menu, and it should tell you what you're allergic to or not. That's kind of what we're aiming for now, and we're going to try to build this in just a couple of hours to show you what's possible with some experience and knowledge and the use of AI tools. So I'm thinking something like this, something relatively simple, just a scanner part, and then as well as a camera part, and then maybe a chat part. We'll see. But we're actually going to get started here in Cursor, and we're going to go to the command palette. And we're going to do a new Flutter project, and we're going to do an application. We're going to put it in the developer folder, and we're going to call it Am I Allergic? Like so. And then this will generate all of the code that we need for this. So now in the chat here on the Cursor, we can say, I am going to, whoops, now we're not writing in the chat. I am going to build an app that allergy scanner. The user will input they will then be both. All right, so we're submitting this to this is Claude 3.5. We're actually going to change it to Claude 3.7. It's going to use some of our fast credits on this Cursor Pro plan that we're on. So I'm going to build an app that is an allergy scanner. The user will input their allergies in an about section and grade the severity of their allergy. They will then be able to take pictures of labels, foods, menus, etc. And the ChatGPT OpenAI wrapper API will make a judgment recommendation on whether they're likely to be allergic or not. The user will not create an account or login, so this should be all stored locally. First outline the main file for this and create a folder structure for all the files we need. Looking to keep the app quite simple. Use a purple and light purple and purple as base. Send, so we're going to send that to ChatGPT, to Cursor. So first it's going to create a directory for us. And then we're going to see what type of output we get. Then it's adjusting our pub spec YAML section. So as we can see here, it's generating a structure that's going to be using a relatively common way of approaching it. So we just have a main file where it's setting this all the stuff up, and then we're also using an index or an index stack to switch between all of the screens that we need. So then we're going to obviously write home screen, allergen screen, and settings screen, where they're going to be able to determine all this. Then maybe when we've done some stuff, we'll add a chat screen. But this is how it starts off. It creates all of this stuff. I think we need to accept some of these files. So yes, we're accepting the theme, we're accepting the allergen, and we're not going to look at this yet. We're going to do this later. Scan results, and then it's creating the storage service. We're going to see what it's going to use. Seems like it's using SQL flight, so just a local SQL table. Boom, we're going to accept that. And then I believe we're going to see how this OpenAI service turns out to be. And then we actually have to go into OpenAI and generate a key for this. So a key that can be used to access the OpenAI API, but not so super difficult. It's very simple. You can do it very quickly. But it's 8:39 now. I'm going to check back in again once we have somewhat of an outline of an application. All right, so then just a few minutes later here, we have an app that it has put together. So we have my allergies, we have settings, for instance. So this is something that this has generated in one go. I've literally, just to show you, I just created a new cursor account for this here. It's literally used one token for this. One token was used to make this on their most advanced model. So now we need to do some stuff to clean up the UI a little bit. I'm not going to do that on camera. Because it's going to be a little bit boring. This is, I find, where the AI doesn't work as well. But just to see what it's put together. So first of all, let's put together an allergen model. This is just, the name of what you're allergic to, how severe it is, and if there are any particular notes regarding it. Maybe someone can say, I had peanuts once and this happened. And then we're able to send this to ChatGPT through the request. Then we have the scan results. So this will then how we're saving all of the scanned results that we're getting. So how we take, for example, the image that was taken, and then how we then map that to the different text, and detect all the allergens and get that into a specific list. Then for the screens, we have the allergens list, the home screen, result screen, settings screen. And for service, we have storage service, which is how we store all of it. So this is just using SQLite, which is a simple SQL SQL database inside of the app. And then we have the OpenAI service, which is sending this quest. I need you to analyze this food label image. I have the following allergies. And then you're attaching all of the allergies that the person has. And then it's saying, please identify any they might be allergic to, assess the risk, provide a recommendation, blah, 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 list any detected allergens. And then it will format this into a JSON. So we're going to do some UI work now, and then we're going to test it. Okay, so I've prompted it a little bit, and I've done some UI changes myself. And we're starting to look pretty good. I'm going to test this on my phone in a little bit. But just to show you, so first of all, you come in here, you put in your allergies. For example, we have peanuts, for instance. We can remove that one. We can remove gluten, for instance, delete gluten. We can add a new one that is maybe, we can say lactose, or actually say bananas, medium, rash. Like so, we say the allergen, boom. And then we'll see we have a severity or a medium severe rash when we eat bananas. So then we can go to the gallery. We can select a picture of bananas, like so. Boom, and it will analyze the image and shows this little nice loading screen while it's analyzing and say, detected allergens. Avoid is due to your banana allergy. This image shows bananas which you're allergic to. Given your medium severity allergen, it's advisable not to consume them. Okay, cool. But so if we then go to allergies and we remove bananas, like so, and we then take another one, like this. No allergens detected in this item. So it's working pretty well. We can even do some more advanced stuff, like attach a picture of a nutrient label, like this. And then it's saying, yeah, it's got peanuts and it's got dairy. Please avoid this. It's going to be dangerous for you. So it's working really well. We can actually then go in and clear all the progress like that. So then I think we maybe need to set the state there. Yeah, we need to change it so it sets the state after that. But what we're now going to do is we're going to add a little bit of an onboarding. So we're gonna say add context, the main Dart. We onboarding that what the app does. I have found a nice package here, so we're going to be using this package, introduction screen, where it lets you slide between, the different things. So that's a really good one in regards to onboarding. And then we're going to say to explain what the app does. Like so. Whoops. We should use package like that. And it 4 slides. And then this is where we're going to explain what the user has to do in order to begin using the app. And it should shown app be saved in preferences. We also lets the user so we're then gonna add another page that's very similar to the allergen list screen. Like so. Perfect. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna hit enter, and then cursor is going to generate up a very nice piece of code for us there. In the meanwhile, I'm going to show you, I've been designing a little bit on some icons. I think we're going to go with this one at the bottom. It's the simplest. This one, I mean, we can probably A/B test it. Which one do you think is better, actually? It's not a live thing, so I can't really ask. I think this one stands up. We're going to go with number 1. My girlfriend said the last one, but we're going to pick our what our gut says. So we're gonna say app icon generator. This is a very nice piece of software that you can use to generate icons for both Apple and Android. So we're gonna upload that one and we're gonna generate. So this will then generate a set of app icons. So you get a folder that looks like this, and then you literally just drag and drop that into these. So we're gonna take iOS, we're gonna say runner, we're gonna see what we have. These ones. No, I can't find them just because I'm there, assets. We're gonna drag the image in there. We're gonna say replace. And we're going to do the same for Android. And in Android, it's located in the app, in the source, in the main, in the res, and in the drawables. So we're going to replace the Android ones. We're going to grab those. We're going to put that inside of the res, replace, 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 replace. And then when we build that, it's going to have that nice new icon. So let's check in on the progress here of the onboarding. So we're gonna accept the onboarding screen, we're gonna accept that. And then it needs to edit the main screen too, I believe. Main screen, like so. And then we're gonna see if we can rebuild. Welcome to Am I Allergic? Okay, perfect. Use your camera to take pictures of food labels, ingredients lists, or restaurants. AI powered analysis. So set up the allergens. Continue. So this page needs to be a little better. So the way we can do this, for instance, oh no, it's just it's asking us to add some images, and it's even imported those images for us. This is incredible. We're gonna go ahead with that. Run command. It's gonna create some images for us. It's even built an image generator. So this is wow. So we're gonna see how this goes. Then we're actually gonna download this on or upload this to the App Store Connect so that we can download it on our phone and take some screenshots of the app that we're going to be needing. Then we're going to monetize this using Revenue Cat, and I think that'll be the next step. Alright, so we're making good progress here. I've actually got a version working on my phone. It's 10:40, so we'll be going for around 2 hours. But I got a version now that's working well on my phone. It's working in order to test for allergens, etc. But it's not working super well with the camera. So the camera part there is missing. But I can choose from the gallery. I can upload a picture, for instance, and then it will tell me whether I'm allergic or not. So that's pretty good. Also, that looks pretty nice. In the meanwhile, while that's been building, I've been working on some screenshots for the App Store. So this is where we're currently at. I'm waiting for a main scan screen, as well as a keep track part, which I can do when I get the phone working. I've made a simple little video too that we're gonna put on the App Store. Like so. So that is what we're gonna put on the App Store. Now we're actually gonna go pick up my girlfriend. She's at a friend's place, and after that we're gonna continue. We're not giving up until this app is done today, which it should be. So it's not, yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think we need to make one final change here in regards to the camera that's not available right now. But after that, I think we're ready to monetize it a little bit and maybe improve the onboarding a little bit. But let's go pick her up.
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. I've been blowing through the money like you growing trees. I've been fucking on a French bitch, c'est la vie. I just put them on a jet, now they all Italian. Way I'm dressed until I've been to $1,000. This bitch lie about getting shots, but she's still a stallion. She don't even get the joke, but she's still smiling. Every night, late night, like I'm Jimmy Fallon.
Alright, so as you can see, it's 1:15. It's a couple of hours long. I picked up my girlfriend, we've got back home, I'm back in the office, and we're working on this app. So, as you can see now, we've done some changes, just UI, basically. Just some smaller changes that I have made. Now, what we've done though is we've monetized it, or we're gonna monetize it. So now, if I've used my one free scan on the app, I will be shown this paywall. And we'll be using Revenue Cat in order to display these paywalls. And I'll hop over here and show to you how this is done. So first of all, you need to, I'm gonna show you here. You need to set up some stuff in the App Store Connect. So you need to set up subscriptions. You need to create one. Now it's asking me to log in. I'll do that off camera. But essentially what you need to do is you need to set up some subscriptions. You need to set up a product and you need to price that particular subscription. So I've done that for both weekly and I've done that for yearly. Thinking that if you're out traveling and you need to be able to check in what you're allergic to during a certain time period, maybe like a vacation, then this app will be very good, but you're probably only want to pay for 1 or 2 weeks. So we're gonna hop onto this app. And then I've gone in here, subscriptions, and I've set up premium subscriptions. So premium weekly, premium yearly. And now, using some of the stuff that Revenue Cat has, I should be able to import the products from the Apple App Store. So as we can see there, we can, actually we're gonna wait with importing those because we need to determine how long the subscription should be. So we're actually gonna hop into premium and we're gonna say premium yearly. This one we need to choose a duration, of course. 1 year, save, like that, boom. Then we will head back to, we'll put this up here. Then we will head back to Revenue Cat and we will then import the products. Like so, we will import those two. Import, perfect, and then to the entitlement we need to create an entitlement. So that entitlement will be what people get access to, and we're going to call it premium, and then we're going to say unlimited access, like that. Add, and then we need to add products to this, so we're going to add those two. So if anyone buys one of those two products, they will be assigned to this entitlement. And offerings are used for the paywall. So we're going to create an offering that is the default offering, and we're going to say standard, and then we're going to add a new package, and we're going to call this annual. We had there, we're going to call it annual, and then we're going to select the yearly one, save, And then we'll add another one too. Edit. New package, and this will be the weekly one. So like that. So now when someone pays or buys one of these things, we will be able to assign them an entitlement. And an entitlement is what will be used inside of the app to determine if they should be shown a paywall or not. Again, so for example, show paywall, like this. So here, present paywall. This is what we will be displaying if the user does not have any entitlements. So we first of all determine if they're premium, for example. Now we're just setting that to false. And I have just shown my API key. Is that a big deal? No, it's not. It's not the secret API key. It's the public one. No worries whatsoever. But then we check inside of Revenue Cat what type of user they are. So that's what we will be doing. We will then, after this, head over to paywalls, and we will select a new paywall. We're going to use the default offering, which is the monthly and the yearly plan. And then we can choose one of Revenue Cat's nice templates here. So see which one we go for. This one looks pretty nice. Okay, so there we have done some customization of this paywall. This is what the user is going to be shown. We're going to see what it looks like in light and dark mode. It can look the same. Yeah, look the same. Perfect. Save changes. Okay, it has errors. Text font cannot be empty. Again, no introductory offer. Save changes. There we go. And then we're going to publish the paywall. All right, we're on the home stretch here. We're doing the last bits and bobs. So I'm going to show you now what this looks like. So I'll just hop on the phone here real quick. All right, so currently we should be seeing the paywall. So we press from gallery. Boom, we get that nice paywall. We're going to subscribe weekly. I think we don't have to pay now because we're on the development part. Yeah, subscribe, testing. Cool, and then it should process that, remove the paywall, and then we can do unlimited scans. Cool, all right, so the app works fine. We're pretty happy with it. We're now going to hop on the computer and I'm going to show you how to submit this to the App Store, and then we're going to call it a night because your boy is tired. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to finish up here. One tool that I use to research keywords is, see where we have that one. This one, Astro is called. So here we can input some keywords and we can look for the ones that have relatively high popularity and somewhat low difficulty. So for example, here's someone's allergy tracker scanner food. So we're gonna focus a little bit on the travel. So we're gonna combine allergy and we're gonna combine food allergy tracker and then the travel part. So we're gonna rank on some of these keywords and we're gonna use that too. We're gonna select that one. So allergy scanner, we're gonna try to rank on a little bit. Food allergy tracker, food ingredient scanner, and food allergy travel, food safety scanner. So we're gonna copy those keywords. So Astro is a pretty good tool if you're looking to get on with something like this. And then we're gonna say we're gonna pick a better model. We are launching an app that lets users scan food and be allergic or not. It's per for travel when don't know the menu. Like so, we want these keywords in this order. Right, and then we're gonna ask it to write all of the stuff that we need on the App Store Connect. So these are the subscriptions. Oh yeah, one good point is that we actually need to submit a, like that. We're gonna take a screenshot and we need to submit that for the metadata inside of the subscription. So we're gonna head to the Apple App Store here. So the screenshot, see if it's that one. Yep. And then it's gonna say that we're not missing metadata anymore. So perfect, we're gonna be able to submit that. Same for the weekly. Like that. And then our subscriptions are ready. Still says missing. I think it's uploading. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Ready to submit. They're all ready to submit. Now we're gonna see what we need the ChatGPT to generate. So we need a promotional text description. So we're gonna tell it write promotional text. Let's see how many characters max, because otherwise it's gonna write more. 170. Max 170 characters. And then we're gonna say description max 4,000. And then on to the next one, it's going to be keywords, max 100. Perfect. And then while it does that, we will be submitting some other stuff. So support URL, we're going to go Palm Node. Marketing URL, we're also going to go Palm Node. We're going to go Nordic Social Media AB. Version 1.0. For the build, we're going to add the latest build. And for the in-app purchase, we're going to select the premium weekly and the premium yearly so that users can buy one of those. And then here for information, we don't really need that much information. Whereas since it's not a sign-in, we're not collecting any data or anything. So we're going to leave that as is. For screenshots, I've uploaded those nice screenshots that we already have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to press save there. Then in the app information, we need a nice subtitle. See what it recommends. Promotional text, they save with our allergy scanner, like that. So we're gonna put that first. Promotional text, stay safe with our allergy scanner, your food allergy tracker, food ingredient scanner, food safety scanner, and the go-to for food allergy, travel safety, we're gonna say. So yeah, we're just packing it with keywords. And then for the description, we're gonna see here. Perfect. And at the bottom here, we also need the EULA, which is the end user license agreement. If you're submitting an app, never forget this, because then Apple will just haunt you. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna press that. My allergic ULA, there, we're gonna put it. And then we're gonna see what it said for keywords. This has got to be more than 100 characters. So we're gonna take those, just a couple. I'm going to say allergy scanner. Allergy scan. Perfect. And then we're getting pretty ready to submit. I think we're going to save that there. See, are we missing anything? Right, the subtitle. Then I'm going to say, what's a good subtitle? See what we're going to put that. And for the am I allergic AI scanner, see what volume did we have on Am I Allergic? On the go food safety companion, that's we're gonna actually say Am I Allergic? Scan food for allergens, like so. And then it's gonna say Am I Allergic? AI scanner. Yeah, I think that should be good. So we're then gonna press save and we're gonna go ahead to prepare for submission. And we do that by pressing there, add for review, and it's going to now validate, see that we're not missing anything. And we're missing pricing, so we just have to make sure that it's a free app. We're going to say United States. We're going to choose 0 because we're monetizing inside of the app like we have already showed you. We're going to go ahead and confirm, and we're going to set up availability, and it's going to be available in all countries and all regions. And we're going to go ahead and, yeah, perfect. So I also set up a privacy policy page. This is really quick. And the terms and conditions on my website. I'm saying here, we do not take responsibility for any deaths or injuries, blah, 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 just so we're clear on that. And then we're going to go to prepare for submission, and we're going to add for review. And we're going to send this into Apple for review. And I think by the time this video is up, you should be able to download this app if you want to. And this just goes to show that it's possible and it's relatively quick to build an app like this in just one evening. So yeah, that's it. We've submitted to Apple. It's currently 2:24. I started at 8 o'clock. So probably, 6 hours or something like that? Works. I had an hour in between there. 5 hours. 5 hours to build an entire app that uses an OpenAI wrapper and then displaying all of this stuff that we're displaying in this app and submitting it to Apple. Cool. All right, we're back in the home office. Today passed real quick. It's evening already, and with my girlfriend's family was over here. I spent some time working in the morning, but I'm having this issue. It was just at the gym, as you saw, but I'm having this issue with Parenter, this app I've been working on before, and now I'm working on a little bit again. And it's Android. Android has just gone downhill significantly. It used to be so much better to develop on Android. The Google team was responsive. It was clearer error messages than you have now, at least. But now it's like, it's unclear error messages. The Google team doesn't respond when you're submitting apps for review. And it's just a bad experience in general. So now I'm working through a bug. And this current bug, let me show you here what the issue we have. So the bug is, we go in here, we go to the app as usual, we press premium. And the goddamn app just crashes. And this works fine on iOS, but it doesn't work on Android, which is what's so annoying. So I'm gonna try and work on that a little bit. Then we're gonna plan the week, and I'm gonna show you how I plan my week, just briefly. So to plan my week, I use a kind of bullet journal approach where I'll put in the day, and then I'll put in all of my tasks that I have to do for that day. And then I have a couple of different things. So a dot, a full circle, represents a task. Open circle represents a very important task, a line represents a note, and a star represents something that's, worth taking note of. That could be something significant, such as an event, such as something that has to be done, but usually the text after that will follow. So then tomorrow, for example, we will add that we need to order Teufelberger, which is one of the brands that we have in our Bursprediken. We need to change our tires, etc. So I'll just go through the entire week like this. So as you can see, the weeks start to fill up. Some are heavier than others, but that's just then one point with all the stuff that I have to do and take a note of for that particular day. So that is how I do it for this type of stuff. So I'm just gonna now go through this. It's currently 10:21. It's probably gonna take 10 minutes or so just to plan the week out, get an overview, and then we're gonna get the week started. Tomorrow we have some exciting stuff. We're shipping out a new product that we have in Arbster Innovations, which is my 3D printing company, arbsterinnovations.com. We're shipping out a new set of tires for the Husqvarna automowers, these robot lawnmowers that people have. So that's a brand new product we're shipping out tomorrow. I'll show you that 3D model. And then we're gonna do some gymming. We're gonna do some final moving this next upcoming week. So it's essential to prepare in some way for, if you wanna be successful or have some type of degree of success, you have to prepare. Because if you don't prepare, you're prepared to fail. You know that good old saying. But yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. Today was a little bit family oriented. Spent a lot of time with my girlfriend. I can't speak today. What the fuck's going on? Usually I'm very good at the jibber jabber. But I spent some time with my girlfriend's family. That's always fun. Probably got in a solid 6 hours of work today. Yesterday we built an app casually in the evening, which is pretty cool. If you don't know any other YouTuber just throws that into a casual vlog. Built an app today. Then do let me know, because I would want to meet them. But I'm very aware that I'm in a space right now where I'm kind of finding my niche. There's this whole saying where you have a chart that looks like this, and there's fuck around, and then there's find out. And there's a direct correlation between how much you fuck around and how much you find out. You fuck around and you find out. And what I'm currently doing now, and I'm very aware that I'm doing, is fucking around and finding out. In that I'm just trying a bunch of different things. I'm making flashcard apps, I'm making these am I allergic stuff, types of apps. I'm just taking spaghetti and I'm throwing it at the wall, and I'm just seeing what sticks. And I'm thinking if something is, working to a better degree than something else, am I cooking that spaghetti correctly, or can I, change a little bit? Am I adding enough salt? Am I adding enough water? Am I cooking it for long enough? Am I using the right type of spaghetti? Etc. So I'm just taking different projects, picking them up, doing them a little bit, and then throwing them at the wall to see what sticks. And I'm very aware that in the next probably 2 years, or 1 to 2 years, I will need to pick something. I'll need to pick something and I'll need to dial in on that. Because I'm very aware that all the stuff that I'm doing right now, like just if I list it, I'm doing YouTube, I'm running Arbeidsbutikken.se, which is a pretty large business in and of itself. I'm making almost $2 million a year in revenue, that is. And obviously I'm not doing that alone, but I'm solely in charge of it. I'm running Palm Bags, which is another company. I'm running Arbster Innovations, which is another company. I have Parenter, which I'm working on. I have Venture Pals, which I'm working on. I have Wonder Sagas, which I'm working on. I have some of these other smaller apps, such as the flashcard, such as the app you saw me build today. Do I have anything else? My personal brand that I'm managing to some degree with newsletters, etc. But I'm doing a lot of different stuff, and I'm very aware that I need to dial in on something in the future, which, for it to be sustainable and for me to be good at something, I need to dial in at something. And right now I'm kind of deciding where that should be. Is it software? Is it products? Is it services? I'm kind of in between software and products, but more towards software, because the benefit with software is that it's infinitely scalable. Or obviously not infinitely, but it's a lot more scalable than products. When I sell the Palm bags that I also manage, that you've seen in this video, when you've seen in the beginning of the video all the calculations, etc. So selling 100 bags is not, much easier than selling 10 bags than it is than selling 150 bags. It kind of scales linearly. With one bag to sell is about the same amount of effort as 2 bags to sell, or 3 bags to sell, i.e. as the number of bags you sell go up, the effort also goes up in the same direction, or the same cadence. But with software, it's as easy to have 1 customer as it is to have 10 million customers. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but it's a lot easier to scale that business, in that you're probably gonna have some more database costs, some more customer service inquiries, etc. But it scales a lot more exponentially, in that you don't have to do that much more effort to serve your product to 1,000 customers compared to 10 customers. And that is why software, I think, in my opinion, is the better option for me to go with. So I need to pick something, I need to get good at something, and I need to find a problem. And that's currently what I'm doing. I'm as I go about in my day, I'm scanning the world for problems. Where do we have problems? Do I hear someone mention a problem over here? Do I hear someone mention a problem over there? And I try to pick that up. I have a couple of those in my notes app, nothing really spectacular yet, but that's kind of the path I'm on for the next year or so. And in the meanwhile, I'm fucking around and I'm finding out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna now finish this planning off, and we're gonna call it an end to this video. Very random video. I'm not even sure if you can call it a vlog. But if you do like this type of content, then feel free to let me know down below. And also feel free to subscribe. It's completely free of charge. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.